Joining me today, Harry Mahesh, still in Alberta, just outside Calgary, I think, right, Harry? Good.
No, right in Calgary.
Right in Calgary. How's the weather? How's it going over there? It's a little pretty brisk here so far. Hopefully, get some warmer stuff coming up.
Yeah, it was good for a couple weeks and woke up to snow on Sunday morning. That melted quick, but it's been a little chillier than I would have liked for May.
Speaking of chilly, who getting out for runs and stuff like that has to be enjoyable. Your better half, quite the Olympic athlete. Explain how your regiment and her regiment together right now has worked. I mean, do you guys work out together? Do you guys run together? Do you sprint together? Does she take you to the mat a little bit? What's the plan here?
We do go for the occasional workout, I guess, the run, or she's got a system and I just basically do as I'm told. If I'm not feeling it, I can kind of slip out the odd day, but no, hers is a lot more intense than mine. I'm not really preparing for anything other than maybe a beach season if we have one.
Beach season if we have one. We're going to jump topics here just a bit because I know we talked a little bit off. We talk about soft and hard quality traits. Having, a female athlete in your house, working with her as a spouse, how does that relate to working with female hockey players when times get tough, times are good? How are you able to relate knowing that you have this experience already in the house?
You know what? I do kind of ask her, tips and whatnot, but I find the top level, I guess, female athletes, they'll all say they don't want to be treated any different. I mean, I keep hearing that there's got to be a different approach to, girls that I'm coaching 15, 18, but the way I think about it is once they enter the real world, the workforce, whether they're doctors, lawyers, teachers, they don't get treated differently because of, their gender. So it's not like a female doctor, her boss isn't telling her, oh, it's okay if you make a mistake in this heart surgery, we'll forgive you. It's like, it's in the real world, you don't get those exceptions. So it's not that I'm any harder, any softer. I really just try to do it the same. There is times where, maybe you do step back, but at the same time, I think it should be equal. I mean, I think as a male coach, you just tend to have a natural soft spot when that's more on me. But in terms of my plan, it's to really just keep it the same.
I've always said that no matter what position you're in, whatever profession you have, you want the leading best candidate, whether it be male or female or letter X now. I guess we have to consider that one as well. When you see your team in the downs or not having the greatest of experience, not playing well on the ice, can you give them that quote unquote tough love the same as you would a male player? Or is it, is there a different approach when it comes to that? Obviously, you have to take into with a grain of salt that, every player, every individual is different. But moreover, motivating them to get through that tough patch has got to be a great, character trait for a coach.
Well, the biggest thing is, whether you say you're tough on them or tougher, but I think as a coach, ultimately you have to be honest. I mean, if they're not playing good, how much can you really sugarcoat it? Like the truth hurts. There's different ways to approach it. You can tell somebody that was awful, or you could just say, hey, that could be better. It's the same message but worded differently, and at different times, you got to use a different approach. And I don't think that necessarily changes for me whether I'm coaching boys or girls. It's if you're down by 1 goal in the first, you're not going to be as intense, I guess, or as I guess negative, but it's one of those things where you just have to be honest, and it's the coach's interpretation as to how he wants to deliver his message. But if it's honest, it's fair, and that's what I try to do.
Not a great way to put it, Harry, because like you said, if you don't want to be treated differently, then don't treat them differently. And it's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the fact that you need to be a professional and be containing yourself with a professional manner. And Lord knows if the NHL has shown us this year, players, coaches, trainers, everything that they've done, everything is being scrutinized, even your past now. So maintaining a professional manner is probably the biggest key, and a little bit of accountability and integrity mixed in there with a grain of salt would probably work well for a coach, right, Harry?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, just making sure that you're And you know what? The thing is that the players have to see you for you. I always say, when you're a coach, you're you. So when they say act like a coach, well, if I'm a coach, I should just act like myself. You know, I see a lot of coaches I've been around, and it's like they play a character. You know, they'll talk to you outside the dressing room one way, and then they walk in, and their demeanor, their voice, everything changes, and you're kind of looking at them. It's like players can see through that. You know, you got to be the same on and off the ice. You know, you can't put yourself above and put yourself on a pedestal, which I think a lot of coaches do. You know, do as I say, not as I do. It doesn't work in the coaching world.
No, I've talked to a lot of your players this year in our little segment series of what's going on right now during these times, and they've told me, Harry, that you were quite the motivational speaker, or have the prepared speech, even though it might not be prepared. How important is that first sentence when entering into a locker room? I find that more kids will initiate that response based on those few first words that a coach says.
It's important. You know, you're kind of setting the tone. Again, you can be up or down, but you know, a lot of players think, okay, we're winning, coach is happy. Okay, we're losing, coach is mad, and that's not the case at all. So, for me, I mean, any coach will, you know, sometimes emotions will get the best of you, but that, like you said, that first sentence is huge, just to kind of let them know, like, okay, things are okay, and then you got to convince them, or you know what, guys, we got to pick it up. But getting their attention, and yeah, I guess. Coaching the age I do, I guess you could be a little bit more theatrical because you got to make it fun. And, you know, I take advantage of the fact that, you know, most importantly, I want them to enjoy it. So no matter how upset or angry, you know, I always try to leave them with a little bit of something to mull over as to, well, is he mad? Is that a joke? You know, just, you know, sometimes it's best to just keep their mind off of it by, I don't call it mind games, but sometimes it's like, mind ease. You just kind of take them away from the game, whether they're, you know, not stressing about something, and you know, they can kind of have a laugh, or you know, and I think that helps. And I think at any age that will help. But I find with the girls especially, they do like to keep it a little more lighthearted, and that's not my old style, but I've learned to kind of incorporate that, and I like it. I think it keeps things fun.
No, for sure. Like you said, it's you being real. It's you being that person, and kids can see right through the fakeness, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Speaking of your identity and the identity of your hockey teams, Harry, how important is to have, you know, I've been asked this question, you know, what is your coaching philosophy? And I never have a right answer or a wrong answer for that. It's the identity is key. It can be a certain style of team. And looking back at the last couple of years you had a very veteran team and a slightly younger team this year. Moving forward, what do you see the identity of female Buffalo hockey being in 2020 and 2021?
You know, I think it's going to be a little bit of an older group, and I almost want to say it's going to be more of an independent group in terms of, I think what we have returning, know what to expect. You know, I'm going to have girls there that I've coached for 3 years, and that base layer of preparation is already set. So we should be, you know, further ahead at the start of this year than we were last year, and then even the year before. So I think this year's team is going to be maybe independent but self-sufficient. They're going to start to learn how to prepare themselves. And, you know, I read actually a quote this morning that said the most gratifying feeling for a coach is being absolutely useless on the bench, because everything is done and prepared, and you're just standing. You know, your coaches are prepared, your players are prepared, and you're basically just watching the byproduct of preparation. So I'm hoping this year's team can kind of know what I expect. There's less micromanaging. You know, that doesn't mean I'm going to work less. That just means I'm going to keep myself busy doing, you know, more preparation. And, you know, you can never over prepare. So as long as they're taking care of what I expect, then I can give them more detail, and you really start to build, you know, and they always say the sky's the limit. And, you know, for me, it's to find a new challenge. But I think the identity of being mature and self-sufficient would be an identity off the ice, and then on the ice, obviously, hardworking and relentless and all that kind of stuff is always, you know, the way I played and what I expect from my players.
No doubt, absolutely. We'll take a quick break with Harry Mahesh, coach of the female Buffalo squad. We're going to talk a little bit more about off the ice manners and what Harry does when he's not behind the bench, but he makes sure that his players are prepared for when it comes to being ready for that next level. We'll be right back. Joining me is Coach Harry Mahesh, who's in Calgary, enjoying a little bit of snow, a little bit of sun, a little bit of Chinooks, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What he's not enjoying is not being around the ice and probably around his current team, as well as looking at future players that potentially could be part of the Buffalo team. And we talked before the break about the identity of the Buffalo squad. Let's talk a little bit, Harry, about getting players prepared for that next level. We talk about hockey academies, the CSSHL. Their motivator, their principles are, promoting good hockey, promoting student athletes, but then having that opportunity for that open door for the next level. Last year, there were 7 players that were offered opportunities. This year, we're seeing not as many, but still those same opportunities available. Speaking most recently with Abby Dawson, who is going to be going to a small little school in Michigan, I believe, Hancock, Michigan. But how is it that your job off the ice is preparing these players so that they know that they're not missing deadlines or not missing important key factors that are available to them when they graduate?
Well, just a little announcement. We'll have, I think by the end of this month, have the other 2 seniors commit. I believe Gracie Perry hasn't been officially announced, but we'll be going to Morrisville. So, I'm thinking we'll have all 3 girls moving on, which is exciting. In terms of the preparation, it's what I tell them is, you're one step below that university level, and I don't know who's coached them. I don't know what they've been told, but I almost tell them that this is an opportunity and this is a place where you can practice everything. You can practice how to talk to a coach. So for me, I say whatever you want, and I can, fine tune your approach. Some days I'll hear, Coach, I don't really feel good. I don't think I'm going to be very good on the ice. And I go, okay, well, if I'm your college coach, I got 25 other girls I can replace you with. So I'm not mad, but here's how, you should have come to me. And so I kind of have that, I kind of have to build that into my own, mindset as to, they don't know sometimes what they're saying, what they're doing, and they don't know how it comes across. So I really have to kind of step back and say, okay, this bothers me, but they don't know, any better. They think it's going to not be a big deal. In terms of other preparation, I'm competitive. So when I know, for example, next year, if we have 9 seniors, 10, it becomes something that I take as a personal challenge to get them all committed. So for me, I got to keep myself on top of the deadlines and, responding back to schools. And then, I'm kind of on them a little bit. I don't like to force them into making a decision, but I want to make sure that, okay, make sure your SATs and your grades and this and that, because it's a reflection of the academy and myself as well, So I take it a little personal and challenge myself. And I think sometimes, I try to keep it fair and not overwhelm them, but I try to stay on them because for me, it's, it's a little bit of something I take as a feather in the cap, so to speak.
When you're preparing to send a player, I mean, I'm not going to mention names, but you're talking to other programs, other schools. You're aware of what they perhaps are looking for. Are you able then to specifically plug and play and promote a player in a certain school or a certain environment so that they would be a best fit for that program?
Yeah, early on it was guys and girls have a little bit of a different mindset when it comes to this, and it's not for sure, but I noticed when I played and being around guys, they'll go to whichever hockey program has the best school with the best hockey program. They're not really worried about their classes, and that'll come after. The girls will actually take a step back and say, well, what does the school offer? And I go, I don't know. They're a good hockey team, So then I try to expand a little further and into that. But in terms of that next level, I just think it's. I've had a couple of coaches ask me, do you think she'd be a good fit? And I've said no, because at the end of the day, I'm only as good as my word too, and that doesn't mean that I'm not promoting that player. I just think knowing what I know of that player and knowing what I know of that coach, I don't think that it'll honestly be the best fit. Some players need a certain style of coach, especially if they're going to be there for 4 years. And I don't know everybody personally, but I can tell through first interactions of, yeah, I don't know if this girl or this player is gonna necessarily mesh with this coach. So I don't like doing it, but ultimately you have to be honest. And, you know, it's a commitment from both sides, and it's a big commitment. So you want it to be the best fit possible.
It's the next 4 years of your life, potentially, whether it be closer to home, away from home, the support. There's so many key factors that we talk about on both the male and the female side. And the importance, like you said, like females are looking for more a well-rounded program versus, oh, I just want to play hockey with the boys. I mean, it's not saying that hockey's not important, but we're seeing female role models become more prevalent, especially, you know, closer to home. We see a lot more hockey players becoming broadcasters, becoming still more involved with scouting, with agent programs, with promoting the sport from within, still maintaining. I mean, Delaney Collins, I mean, you mentioned her name. She's a pretty big deal in Pilot-Mound. You mentioned Jen Botterill. She's a pretty big deal in Winnipeg. Two very prominent role models for all hockey, not just female hockey. What does it do for an academy when you're able to, you know, start building this tradition, this repertoire of sending players to the next level and seeing them succeed even more at that next level?
Yeah, it's, you know, I think it's important. I mean, we're only 3 years into the girls program, and
Yeah.
we have 11 players who are now playing university hockey. Now, I don't know what that stat is compared to other academies, but, you know, personally, I think that's pretty good. I mean, at this point, yeah, 11 out of 12 graduating girls in 3 years are playing, you know, university hockey, and the 12th chose to play ball instead of hockey. So, you know, yeah, so it's not like, you know, we're leaving anybody behind. And I think that's really important. That, you know, your foundation of an academy is your alumni. And, you know, any good hockey team, you know, you see the TSNs coming out this list of, you know, every Canadian team's all-time team. And yeah, you're composed of your alumni, and that's what's going to carry you into the future. I mean, if you're not moving players forward, then what use is it for anyone to commit to you? And it's like I said, it's a personal challenge for myself. I know Rod and Brad and, you know, Rick and Ernie. It's like I said, it's not why we do the job, but it is a gratifying feeling knowing that you had a hand, you know, whether it be small or big, in somebody's success in their future.
No doubt. You go to the Pilot-Mound Hockey Rink, or the community center, I should say, that has also the curling and the sports in the second floor, and now the theater. You see all the Pilot banners in one end, and soon you're going to see pictures of, you know, the players of each graduating class and where they're going and where they've been accepted to, which I think is, you know, pride can be a bad thing, but in this aspect, it's a very good thing because it's showing the success of the academy, the importance of its mission statement, and, you know, as the coaching staff and the men that are and the females that are part of this program, how successful it really is. I mean, you talk about it, 11 out of 12 seniors. I mean, 12 out of 12 seniors are still playing, you know, next level sports.
Yeah.
And they're getting a great education on top of it. And you know, you talk to Rod, you talk to Rick. The opportunity that these players have given themselves probably would not have existed if they had gone somewhere else. And if you look at the WHL draft, you look at what's going on in the CSSHL, more players now than ever, male and female, are being exposed in a great way through this hockey league. And yeah, I think Pilot-Mound's done a great job putting itself on the map in its short 3-year program with the females and now 5 with the males.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all we do as an academy is create opportunity, you know, and that's what everybody's looking for, is a chance, an opportunity. Once we put you there, you know, put you in front of the door, it's your job to knock on the door and, you know, open it and walk through. And, you know, that's where the coaching and the guidance comes in. But we don't really give anything other than, you know, an opportunity through the league and the exposure. And I think that's really important, because some other places, you know, without that exposure, you know, you can put in all the hard work, but if you don't have the eyes on you, it's not really going to help you.
Right. I mean, you do what you do on the ice as a player. Your support with your family and your administrative group you have around you is vital. The prep, like we talk about players that are going to the States. I mean, SATs, ACT scores are so important now, and making sure you have proper GPAs. I mean, I talked to Katie a little while ago. Maintaining a GPA probably wouldn't have been done if she didn't have the time management skills she had built while at a hockey academy. and it just goes to show what you guys are doing is a great thing.
Yeah, I think it kind of gets that first year out of the way, you know, when a lot of kids leave home for university at 18, 19. These kids are doing it at 15, 16. So by the time they walk into that university campus or college campus, nothing is really intimidating. You know, they've been through it, dorm life, travel schedule, and they're just, you know, a couple years more prepared than, you know, the average kid, so to speak.
And that's exactly it. Preparation and making sure you have the life skills ready to be on your own yet again if you decide to move away from home. Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy.com is there. Check out the current teams, the rosters, the facilities, the resources, the school life, the connection with PMCI, the coaching staffs, all the players, where they come from geographically. I mean, you look at all these small towns and what is represented in Pilot-Mound being its own small town. And last but not least, I tell a lot of great stories about where this team travels. I mean, you talk about that opportunity and where you're able to go compared to where you would have been doing at home. It's pretty darn impressive. Coach Harry, anything you want to add before we say goodbye?
No, just hoping everybody's kind of staying safe and doing well during this. And yeah, hopefully we can get back to the rink here pretty soon.
Absolutely. You talk about the alumni teams. Was your Calgary team was your Flames the hometown team back in the day?
No, I was a Canucks guy.
Oh, so you're Canucks alum. Are you happy to see who they put on there? Were any missing links?
No, it was pretty good. I just didn't think the defense was as strong as any of their teams. But, you know,
well, which, if you had to, you're going to wear the flying, ugly, orange, yellow, and black V. Is that the jersey you'll pick to decide to wear if you ever had to suit up with a Canucks uniform?
No, I like the black, the spaghetti plate, they call it, the one with the skate there. That was kind of my go-to.
You're the spaghetti, okay. You like this? Okay. See, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the Chinook one with the blue, the red, and the white, the dark red, the silver, and that the big C on. So I enjoy that one. I don't know if I would. I don't know if you could put Mark Messier on a team like that, though. I mean, just Pavel Bure, maybe. Yeah, he was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And Stan Smeal. Remember Stan Smeal?
Yeah, he made the team as well.
Yeah, so
that's not bad. Forwards are good. Defense are
defense for suspect. Well, Kirk McLean always backstopped everybody there, so that was a classic. That two-pad stack you'll never forget.
Yeah, 94 playoffs.
Coach Harry, thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of the day and stay well. Be safe in Calgary, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks when we get to enjoy gatherings, perhaps.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Take care.
Thank you.